On iHeartRadio.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Happy to be with you on a Wednesday, a Yacht Rock Wednesday. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone on this Wednesday afternoon. My name is Craig Way. Glad to have you with us. I know it's kind of been a little dank and dreary out, at least not any more rain. May is traditionally and historically the wettest month on the calendar in the greater Austin area. And the fifth month of the calendar year in 2026 has done nothing to change that status on that. The producer of the program is Jake Herman, who's here. Now, you live nearby the radio station, but you live in a comfortable altitude, so to speak, elevation, to where there wouldn't be any real threats to your apartment living existence due to heavy rains, correct?
Right. I'm up on the second floor, so
okay.
There's a lot of loud thunder last night.
Yeah,
some light show.
Yeah. There was a lot of that. As folks know, I live in Georgetown, and we got incredibly heavy rains on Monday night, Sunday night, incredibly heavy rains, and a lot of my backyard kind of looked like a lake. You know, there was just standing water, a lot of standing water. And it usually takes a couple of days and then it goes down. And we had just gotten rid of some of the soil had just gotten dry when that hit. And there was still some standing water when everything hit last night. And now I've got another lake in the backyard, you know. So it was big. And then when I drove in, and I'd heard about they had to evacuate some folks who lived in RV parks down near the San Gabriel River. Now, this was east of town there, like on the River Road or whatever on University Avenue, on beyond it, on Highway 29, like you're going over toward Jonah and then on to Taylor or whatever. Or even some folks, I think, living off Farm to Market 971, like you're going out toward Weir and then Granger out that way. But anybody that was near that flood plain, it got kind of scary, and they had to do some evacuations on here. But fortunately, I think everybody's okay there. I don't think there's any further issues there. I can tell you one group of people who suffered. Anybody who wanted to play golf this morning at Berry Creek Country Club. Anybody that wanted to get out on the golf course. Cameron has played the golf course before. He asked me about specific holes, because I can tell you this. Where I drive through my neighborhood, you pass the 18th hole. And number 18 has this big downhill and back up par 4. And to get onto the green, you actually have to hit over the creek, Berry Creek itself. You actually have to carry the creek to do that. You can probably reach the green, depending on your level of game, with a mid. Depending on how far back in the fairway you are after your tee shot, you can probably get there with a mid iron, maybe even less for the longer hitters and things like that. I can tell you this: after you hit that second shot to get to the green, you need a boat to reach the green. The creek had risen up so much. Cameron asked me about holes 8 and 9. If anybody's out there and knows what holes 8 and 9 look like, you can let me know on the text line. But I can't get to that through the neighborhood anyway. It's pretty wet, so the golf course was closed itself today. But bigger, more important things at hand. Hopefully, everybody's safe and all that. There was a lot of in the folks out to the west of us in Gillespie County and Llano County, Blanco County, Burnett County, those out there, those were the ones who really had to deal with a lot of the harsh elements. We hope everybody's okay on that. There were times during the game last night, Jake, where I was watching game number 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Thunder when we just lost our picture due to the thunderstorms. Same thing when we would flip over to check what was going on in the Dodgers game with Eric Lauer making his first start for L.A. We're looking at Rangers-Astros, where the Rangers put 8 on the board in the first and held on for dear life to beat Houston 10-7. But there were times when I lost all of that because of power outages and satellite outages and all of that other kind of stuff. Fortunately for the Spurs, they had a power outage as well. They couldn't get enough shots to fall, and so they fell to OKC by 14 points. So
to the Thunder, ironically.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were building towards that.
I wasn't, but that's okay. You can incorporate that. 127-113 was the final, and they won the game. One of the things that was interesting was that Jared McCain got a start in the game, and he was a factor in the game. Now, obviously, we, are more than well aware of what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does, and SGA. He kind of had a little bit of a sluggish start shooting. He was hitting free throws because he was getting fouls drawn, but he got it going. He didn't get his first field goal until there was, 30 seconds to go, 31 seconds in the first quarter. And then he really turned it on from there.
Jamal Crawford made the point on the broadcast about the free throws getting him in rhythm and warning the Spurs, hey, you're going to let him get going if you keep fouling him like this.
Yeah, he had 32 points, 9 assists. He was only 7 of 19 from the floor, and he did have 6 turnovers. But he said it's the other guys who made a difference, like Jared McCain, who made his first playoff start of his career, and he had a big part of it. The Spurs were trying to target him on the other end, but they really couldn't get their offense going after that. And he scored 18 of his 20 points in the second half. No Jalen Williams on the floor, no A.J. Mitchell, and yet the Thunder found a way to get it done. So after the game, Coach Dagnall was asked, did he get what he wanted from Jared McCain in his first playoff start?
I mean, like I've said before, I'm not crazy about who the starters are. It's just the first substitution. We just thought, he could give us some good stuff with that unit, just based on where we are right now with a couple of guys out. And he did. He was really good. His pop early was excellent. And he kept himself in the game, and had that flurry in the third and then the flurry again in the fourth. So great mental toughness. I never take it for granted when somebody steps into a role like that in a game like this, but certainly not surprised. He's got great moxie and confidence, and he showed that tonight.
Great moxie and confidence there from him there. Mitch Johnson, the Spurs coach, was asked what was most disappointing to him about the game.
It just felt like it was a little bit of everything in terms of we did not put ourselves in position enough to be successful on each possession. And so to beat a team of this caliber in their building, what's the stakes will need to be a lot better to give yourself a chance.
Okay. All right. And he was also asked, what can he do, or can he do more to get Victor Wembanyama on board? Because Wemby had 20 points in the ballgame. What can he do to get him to be more of a factor in the game?
We're going to need to. He's got to take more than 15 shots, even with the free throws. And, he's going to have to score more than 20 points for sure. And
so is that his aggression or game plan or combination of both?
Yeah, combination of both for sure. OKC did a good job. We got to do a better job. And that's, probably the easiest in terms of when you just surface level stuff that he'll definitely need to take more shots. But there's a lot of things all over the place where even we had advantages and we just didn't make simple plays that take advantage of the opportunity in that possession. And in this type of game, you got to be sure of everything you're doing in a very secure, mature way.
Yeah, he had 20 points, 4-15 from the floor, 1 rebound in the first half. And that tied the second half of the Game 3 loss for the Spurs for his fewest rebounds in a half in the playoffs as well. So they lost by 13. I said 14. They lost by 13, 127-114. So now the Thunder's up 3 games to do. You know what else Victor Wembanyama needs to do? He needs to make himself available for the post-game press conference. He has been warned by the NBA for violating media access rules when he refused to speak to reporters after the game. So
it was a frustrating night for him. I think he got out of his element at times, and it's because of what the Thunder were doing. They were forcing the Spurs guards to almost chase their own tails before Wemby could even get to the paint.
Yep.
They were complaining on the broadcast, why is it Wemby in the paint? I don't think it would have made a big difference if he was.
Yeah.
The Spurs were just under a constant siege of pressure.
So anyway, they've warned him, don't skip the media sessions. They've levied fines in the past to players who didn't make themselves available. 2023, Jimmy Butler, Dylan Brooks, each got fined $25,000 for not speaking to reporters. Of course, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to Vegas Golden Knights head coach John Tortorella. You got fined $100,000, and then the Knights were docked a draft choice for not making their players available at one point in that series. They're all happy now. They won, so they're happy to talk to the media there. He was just gushing to Emily Kaplan last night.
I've waited 20 years for this chance to get back to the Stanley Cup final.
Right. And so they'll play either Carolina or Montreal in the Stanley Cup finals. That'll begin next week. But anyway, that's where it is. And game number 4 comes up, or game number 6, comes up tomorrow night. All right. Now, Longhorn baseball team back to work yesterday and today. Got their practices in before the heavy rains hit, and getting ready for the regional against Holy Cross. Longhorns head coach Jim Schlossnagle was asked, and this happened right after the selection show, when they wanted to know. This is always going to be a question that people are going to ask a coach. It happens in basketball, men's and women's basketball, and in baseball. It didn't really happen in football, because football, the coaches kind of know the other programs that are going on and making a lot of, the difference that it makes. But Schloss was asked in the media availability that happened after the selection show on Monday, how much do you know about Holy Cross, the champions of the Patriot League?
I don't know anything about him. Well, first of all, congratulations to Coach White and the softball team. It was awesome, awesome run to watch, and another champion in this department. So our job's to keep up. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at. Just found out who we're playing, so we'll spend the rest of the day breaking down the field and figuring out more about Holy Cross.
He was also asked, how does he break down different parts of prep for the regional? Because there are 3 teams coming to Austin. The 2 seed is UC Santa Barbara. The 3 seed is Tarleton, who Texas has played and lost to in a midweek earlier this year. And then, of course, the 4 seed Holy Cross, who was asked, how does he break down the different parts of the regional?
We break up the different parts of the game amongst our staff and watch a lot of video, check out all of the available analytics. But at the end of the day, you have to go play good baseball. So as I always say, this time of year, you're either playing a great team, or a team that's really hot, or both. And so it looks like Holy Cross won their tournament and has been playing really well. And we're certainly very aware of Tarleton. We've seen that up close and personal. And Santa Barbara has traditionally been an awesome West Coast power. We know they have great pitching staff, but some of these teams you look at, you never even play them. So, but you do have to prepare for all of them.
Okay, all right. That Tarleton game that happened way on back, obviously, and he was asked, how much can you take from a midweek matchup, win or lose? And in that specific case, the win or lose, which was a loss to Tarleton.
I mean, you can't take a ton from one game, but certainly you're a little more familiar with them. Of course, they're more familiar with you. And I think I think for Tarleton, having their players, you don't get to play. I've coached at UNLV or, different places or TCU before we, really got it going, and you don't get to play in the big environments all the time. And so just like UTSA last year, they're not going to be spooked by dish fog. I hope our fans try to spook them, but Tarleton came in here on a Tuesday night, and I think we got Tinney hit a homer in the first inning, and we didn't get another hit till the ninth inning. So they pretty much dominated us on that particular day. But yeah, I don't think there's a ton to take from it on our end, at least.
Okay. We'll hear some more from Schloss coming up a little later on. But up next, we're going to hear from Sark. The Longhorns head football coach is at SEC spring meetings, and he's got stuff to say, obviously, especially since the reporters are surrounding him and asking him questions. So we'll hear some of those thoughts and comments when we continue here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. And also, to let you know, next hour, in the 3 o'clock hour, Gene Watson, our MLB insider from the Chicago White Sox front office, will join us to talk Major League Baseball. We'll do that and a lot more when we continue on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and where you always listen to us for free on the iHeartRadio app.
Phones, laptops, cars, smart speakers.
I use the iHeartRadio app.
All devices, all the time. Your home for the horns. 1300 The Zone.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
Is back.
Put your hands in the air.
One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready?
featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tuesday morning at 7.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get any size mattress for one low price, starting at $219.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know, our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
The Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream is celebrating America's 250th One Dream at a Time. Next, Wolfgang Puck.
When somebody comes here with a new idea, with something new, people will accept it. I remember when I opened Spargo, for example, and we made this pizza with smoked salmon. Would I have made that in Milan or in Naples? They would have crucified me. Here, people are very open-minded.
Discover more at mcad.org.
eBay is home to millions of finds, and each one becomes part of your story. From your favorite vintage band tee to the dream car you've been searching for or the foul ball you heroically gave away. It's all there on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts, no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
What if you could get access to GLP-1 weight loss treatments for just $39? With Selfie, you can access doctor-guided GLP-1 weight loss treatments and a personalized weight loss program for up to 80 to 90% less than name brand prices, 100% online, and the medication is delivered straight to your door. No long waits, no paying thousands out of pocket. Available with or without insurance. Just one simple way to get started. Text CLEAN to 797979 to see if you qualify. That's CLEAN to 797979.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
We're back. It's the Craig Way Show with Hall of Fame broadcaster and voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way.
Sometimes late when things are real and people share the gift of gab between themselves. Some are quick to take the bait and catch the perfect prize that waits among the shells. But Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me when
It is a Yacht Rock Wednesday, so why not have America on? They fit right into the groove nicely, especially Tin Man. Outstanding offering for them. When I went to see them a couple of years ago at the Moody Amphitheater, not the amphitheater, the Moody Theater, the ACL Theater, they opened the show with this. So it was really cool. All right, here it is on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. In case you didn't hear it, the University of Texas has announced kickoff times for 4 home games. Now, we knew 2 of them. We knew the Ohio State game was a 6:30 kickoff on September 12th. And we knew that the Texas A&M game was 6:30, that contest over in College Station. So those were both already announced. We didn't know the other 2 home games in the month of September, but now we know. Season opener, September 5th, Texas State Bobcats, 2:30 kickoff.
Ooh.
It'd be toasty.
It'd be hot.
It'd be toasty for sure. And then the UTSA game on September 19th, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
7 o'clock kick on that.
So what's the upshot of that? Sark now knows, okay, it'll be an afternoon kick in the lead up to Ohio State. That's something he mentioned when we heard some sound bites from him in Houston at the Touchdown Club, wanting to get that kickoff time ASAP.
Yep, got it. 2:30 for Texas State, and then it'll be 6:30 for the Ohio State game, followed by 7 o'clock for UTSA. Those 3, and then the game in College Station, the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown matchup with Texas A&M. those were the kickoff times that had already been set. All right. Speaking of Sark, he's at the SEC spring meetings. You ever notice the spring meetings for any conference, not just the SEC? This goes for the Big 12. It goes for the spring meetings are never in some unattractive place, you know? They're always in, you know, some tropical or you know, really vacation like, in this case, like, you know, down in Destin, or as they like to say, the Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Yeah, yeah.
The Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, that's what it's known as.
Stop by the the Acme Oyster House.
I guess so. You know, but they don't have it like out in the middle of New Jersey, you know, in some place, and not even in a metropolitan. It's not a rap at New Jersey. My mom was from New Jersey, so I'm just saying, I'm just picking that in a rural area is what I'm talking about. They don't have it like in upstate Minnesota.
SEC meetings, Bixby, Oklahoma, 2026.
Right, exactly. You know, at least Bixby's close to Tulsa, you know, but it's, you know, they don't have it. No. They have it in really desirable locations as well. But spring meetings going on. And when Sark did a media availability, the reporters wasted no time in jumping right in on the hottest of the hot button topics right now, which, of course, is the size and possible expansion of the college football playoff. It's definitely going to be 12 teams again this year. The Big Ten, with the support of the ACC and you know, other Division I conferences, the Big 12, is in support of expanding it to 24 teams. Greg Sankey has made it plain, and he did so again this week at these meetings, that he's not opposed to a 2014 playoff, or 28, he even said. He's not opposed to that in terms of the theory of the size of it. That's not what he's opposed to. He's opposed to how the model affects other things, and i.e. revenue streams, because after all, they're garnering an estimated $100 million in value for having an SEC championship game. This 24, or even if the model were expanded to 28, but 2014 model would call for the elimination of conference championship games. Now, that's not something the commissioner's down with. Some of the coaches are. Go ask Kirby Smart. You know, go ask Lane Kiffin. Sark has said it depends on circumstances and things like that. So he was asked, what would he like to see changed in the college football playoff?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You know, I mean, I've voiced my opinions on when we were at 4. I didn't want to leave 4. So now we're at 12. It's kind of like, okay, we're at 12 and we're in such a rush to grow and go further. I just think we got to think of the unintended consequences when we make decisions to move in whatever direction we decide to go in. I think change is inevitable. It's just a matter of, you know, what is that change? And I think that's something that, you know, I just hope we're conscientious in the decision making when we do decide to change.
All right. So Sark was then asked for a little more specificity on change being inevitable. Is it truly inevitable?
Right now, sure. I mean, we're changing every day in college athletics. You know, I think back to, you know, I got the job at the University of Texas in January of 21, and the amount of a change that has occurred in the 5.5 years that I've had the job has really been incredible. And I've been in this profession for 25 years. And to think just in these last 5 years, we have conference realignment. We have the transfer portal, which has changed every year. We have an expanded college football playoff. We have revenue sharing. We have just stuff that continues to change. I think we need to, as college football, you know, our ability to change with the times, I think, is important. So I do think it is inevitable right now.
Okay. The big enchilada on this combo platter for the college football playoff and the future of the game itself, quite clearly, and it's the elephant in the room, is the conference championship games, the future of them, the position of them, the value of them. And so Sark was asked, how does he value, or does he, the positioning of the conference championship game itself?
I love the SEC championship game. I think it's a special game. It's a special moment for the two teams that have an opportunity to play in that game. Clearly, the fans love it. The viewership is incredible for that ball game. I can tell you I've been part of that game twice where we won. I was part of that game once when we lost, and twice as an assistant, once as a head coach, and very, very special. I will tell you, when we won the SEC championship in 2020, and that was the COVID season, some would argue that celebration was as big or better than when we won the national championship later in the year because of just how hard it is to win this conference. In that year in COVID, it was an SEC only schedule. And so that made it even more gratifying. I think this year is going to be very similar to that with us going to 9 conference games now. And the teams that can come out of the gauntlet of playing 9 conference games and have an opportunity to play for an SEC championship in that game, I think it'll be special. And so I'm hopeful that we can maintain that game. I don't know if that's a reality, depending on the change that potentially is coming. But in the short term, while we have it, man, I surely hope those teams that do make it cherish it.
Okay. So then he was asked what could be the yin to the yang on this deal. Is he concerned that if you keep the conference championship game, if somehow this thing gets worked out and whatever, they compromise at 16 or they do 24 that includes buys, but includes the conference championship games themselves. If you do all of that, is there a concern that the conference championship game itself could be detrimental to getting into the playoff or to the teams that are going to be in the playoff regardless?
I think that's part of the problem right now in college athletics. Everybody's chasing one end goal, and we're losing sight of the small victories along the way. And we live in an era right now of college football. It's playoff or bust. And I feel for people because there's only 12 teams that get in. And we have, you guys tell me, I think it's close to, if not 70 Power 4 schools, not to mention the P5 schools. And so the disappointment for the majority of these fan bases, because they all live with a playoff or bust mentality. And that's the mentality right there with the question you just asked, that we're minimizing the value of an SEC championship, all with the hopes of just winning a national championship. And one team gets one of those. And so I just think that was one of the beauties of college sport and of college football for a long, long time. When it was 2 teams, when there was no BCS, there was nothing. They just figured out who the champion was. And then we went to 2 teams, and then we went to 4 teams. And even at 4 teams, it was like, okay, we know who those 4 are. The rest of these teams can have really good seasons and celebrate their seasons, be champions, win a New Year's Six bowl and still feel great about their season. And now we've gotten to 12, and now the tables have kind of turned. And my concern is I watched a coach get fired 5 games into a season last year after being in the semifinals the year before. That's concerning to me about the health of our sport. And so to me, I just think we got to find a way to get out of this notion of it's a national championship or bust for all the schools, because it's not a healthy way to live for our fan bases. It's not a healthy way to live for our donors. There's a lot of money in place. There's a lot of people contributing. The TV revenue that it's coming in. It's a lot going in this. There's NIL. There's players making money. Gosh, to hang one carrot out there that we're all chasing every single year with a format that's really not conducive for everybody to have an opportunity to win it. That's a scary proposition to me. And so hopefully, like I said, we can navigate our way through this and we can find a little better remedy for it.
Great take on a lot of that, because you're right. He's right. A lot of folks have lost sight of the whole bigger picture by saying it's got to be the be all end all one goal. And he said it's not fair to the fans. To be honest, a lot of the fans put themselves in that position too, of the expectation of it's all one way or not. Same thing with the donors. So maybe a reimagination of it all is better. We're going to hear more from him in the 4:00 hour, including the follow-up on his comments about Ole Miss. So we'll have that and some other topics as well. We'll do that. But up next, we do have Inconceivable here on a Wednesday afternoon on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
America's turning 250, and iHeartRadio is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Starting Monday, listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway. Take that road trip of all the Insta-worthy spots across the country, from bucket list to booked. Wow. Win your share of $250,000. Celebrating 250 years of America with iHeartRadio.
Hardball Hards for Covert, Ford, and Hutto. Trucks go head-to-head to win your trust, and Ford is coming in hot. Save $6,766 on a new 2026 Ford F-150 STX, or save up to $7,646 on a new 2026 Ford Explorer. Or why not get behind the wheel of a Ford Bronco Big Bend with $4,336 off? Big trucks, big savings. Come and see us at Highway 79 in Hutto, or shop for a deal anytime at covertfordhutto.com.
Man, whenever I use a sports book, I feel like I'm just getting robbed blind.
Dude, you've got to delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket? How are they any different?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans just like you, not the house. That means more money for you and less for those greedy sports books.
For real?
Yep. Sports books take around $9 on a $100 position and then pay out around $500. Polymarket pays out $650 on that same position.
What's the catch?
No catch. Even better, it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident that you'll never go back, they're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code HEAT for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code HEAT for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code HEAT.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
Booking.com has stays for absolutely anyone. For instance, imagine you're a family of interstellar beings traveling to expand your horizons. You find a hotel with out-of-this-world balcony views. Seeing is believing. There's room service so your kids can sample the planet's culinary data. It even has Earth's most sophisticated technology, the Slipper. So cozy. If curious aliens can find their perfect stay, anyone can. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Stay connected to Texas athletics and the 40 acres with the LHN app. Watch original content, behind-the-scenes access, interviews, press conferences, highlights, classic Longhorn moments, and select live events. It's your home for Texas athletics content all year long. And with new stories and features dropping all the time, there's always something new to discover. Best of all, the LHN app is free to download and watch. Download the LHN app today and take Texas athletics with you wherever you go. Hook 'em.
Pantalones Organic Tequila. Because tequila is fun. Pantalones.
Hey guys, it's us, the Jonas Brothers. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nick. And guess what? We created our own podcast called Hey Jonas.
We invented a podcast?
Well, we didn't invent it. We just contributed to it.
We're the first
people to do podcasts.
We get to ask other people questions because we're sick and tired of being asked questions.
Well, sick and tired is a strong way to put it, but you know,
Tired and sick.
tired and sick. Listen to Hey Jonas on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Hey Jonas and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Oh, long time no see. It's me, the rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Burnt
East Orange, Bebo, and Ball. Craig Way is talking it all. Now back to the Craig Way Show on 1300 The Zone.
Here we go with Inconceivable on a Wednesday. The Yacht Rock Wednesday. Okay, first I have a follow-up in the junk food fast food department. I actually sent a photograph. Photo.
It was delivered by carrier.
Yeah, it's going to say, how old are you, dude? A picture of my purchase to Jake and to Cam last Saturday. Linda and I were out doing some shopping and went by one of the major supermarket chains. There they had, and we had just talked about this on Inconceivable, new flavor from Bluebell. And initially hearing it, I was like, okay, maybe, might it be good? The flavor is black raspberry fudge. And I think in my mind, I just kind of had the idea that maybe the black raspberry part was going to just overpower the fudge part or something, and I wasn't really going to taste much of the fudge.
Yeah, I have kids. Isn't a black raspberry just a blackberry?
Kind of is. But it was really, really good. And we were just going to buy a pint, but they had a sale going on. This was in Randall's there in Georgetown. They had a sale on it where it was just like $2 more to get the whole half gallon. I don't get the whole half gallon, So we tried it. It's
line and sink.
Yeah, right. Yeah, really, really good.
Okay.
It's very good. The thing I think that I was most impressed with is that the fudge part is still very present and evident in it. The black raspberry does taste really good, but the fudge part in there is good too. It's good. Now, if we could only find, a dairy-free component of it for you.
Hey, last night I was watching the hockey with some HEB cookies over Texas, dairy-free.
Yeah, see, if we could just get the dairy-free out of the black raspberry fudge, you just taste it like a spoonful. It wouldn't make you sick.
I'd be fine.
Okay.
He's getting some idea. Wheels are turning.
Yeah, I have to think about that. Okay.
You don't want to share.
Yeah, they're right. No. There's plenty. There's plenty. You
know what half gallon.
You know what it's like with my household. It's me and Linda. When she makes something, there's lots of extra. That's evidence today.
Delicious cupcakes.
She just, I asked her last night, what are you doing? She's in the kitchen making cupcakes. Okay. So she made these big old cupcakes, made a big old tin of them, a big pan, put them in. It would not be healthy or wise for either of us to eat like a dozen cupcakes ourselves, so we didn't.
The exact type of cupcake I like, though. Like a nice gooey vanilla cake with a sweet chocolate frosting.
We're right there with you. That's what she did. She also makes a chocolate, a real dark chocolate, kind of a devil's food cake with Guinness stout in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's good. It's really good.
My mom's made something called a Coca-Cola cake.
Okay.
It's got all sorts of I don't know if you dump a bottle of Coke in there. I've never seen it. I've never seen how the sausage gets made.
Well, she when she makes, she uses a bottle of Guinness stout when she makes it. It adds a lot of body to it and everything, but it doesn't taste like beer. It tastes like a devil's food cake. It's really, really good. Anyway, a couple other things. I mentioned Victor Wembanyama getting warned by the NBA for not speaking to the media. It's the second day in a row there's been some news about Wemby. This was something I intended to get to yesterday, didn't have a chance, but thank goodness to our Twitter savant, CB, Chris Bennett, who reminded me of this story. And I decided to go ahead and look at this. I don't know if you said, did you see this story about Wemby's rookie card?
No.
Okay. It was a rookie card. It previously, don't look it up yet. I want you to guess. It's a subject of some controversy. And so this card had good value. This was after Wemby had the blood clot in the right shoulder last year that cut his second season short. So the buyer spoke to The Athletic on condition of anonymity due to personal security concerns stemming from the high value of this card, because Wembanyama has no officially licensed and autographed rookie cards because he's under exclusive contract with Fanatics and their rival card maker, Panini, which held the exclusive NBA trading card license during his rookie season. So the values have obviously jumped during the playoffs. eBay has said that collectors have searched his name 5,300 times per hour last week on May 18th when he scored 41 points and had 24 rebounds in that double overtime Game 1 win over Oklahoma City. He's been one of the two most searched NBA players on eBay in recent weeks alongside Cooper Flagg. So you had that. The buyer also said the booming Shohei Ohtani card market also played a role in being assertive in pursuing and purchasing this Wembanyama card. Well, he got it. He got it in a private deal. Would you care to guess what this card went for?
So is it a rookie card, you said?
It's his rookie card.
It's his rookie card.
23-24 Panini Prism. Say that fast 10 times. Panini Prism. It's a 1-of-1 black parallel rookie card that has a Gem Mint PSA 10 grade. I guess that's as high as it can get, right?
I think so. It's not like baseball. You go up to 70.
Right. It was brokered by Fanatics Collect. It's the fourth highest publicly known sale of an NBA card. So,
okay. And he bought it just recently.
He did, just the other day. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Take a shot.
$500,000.
You were slightly below 1/10 of what it went.
No, it didn't.
$5.11 million.
Come on.
The most expensive known sale of a non-autographed NBA card.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I noticed that. It was an autograph. And there was no piece of uniform on it.
Right. $5.11 million. $5,110,000.
You think he's it's just a long-term investment. He wants to sell it for $50.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If he should happen to have an opportunity to meet Wemby, does he take it out of its casing and have him sign it?
Is that worth $5 million?
And then put it back in there? Is it worth more if it's signed?
Probably.
Yeah. So if this dude bought it, anonymous buyer.
Yeah, it's probably smart.
5.1.
There are card sharks that'll come over and try and extort him for it.
Our man, CB, what he said to me, he goes, this is insane. You think about that. For one card, $5.11 million.
Inconceivable.
All right, we got one more story. Okay, Southwest Airlines, of course, has had this. They've had some unpopular things come out, reactions come down to the seat assignment, the overhead bin storage. But perhaps their most criticized thing is the deal where they decide that you're too big for one seat. That's happened a few times. In fact, I know somebody personally who was going to fly Southwest and who was very concerned about being told you're too large for one seat, even though the one seat fit. Anyway, a woman on TikTok has good news for the plus-size travelers affected by that customer of size policy. It sounds insulting right from the start.
What boardroom thought that up?
Yeah, the TikTok creator Emily, known as Emily in Full Bloom, made a video over this past weekend after a conversation with an airport gate agent sharing that the controversial policy would be changing. In a statement to Newsweek, Southwest Airlines elaborated on the changes. Here's the quote. Southwest is working to create a more consistent and seamless experience for customers who require an additional seat. On seats where flights are available, our agents at the airport are empowered to provide an additional seat at no extra cost to customers who require one. If another seat is not available, We will work to accommodate the customer on a later flight. We continue to encourage customers who need an additional seat to book it in advance to help alleviate any last-minute inconvenience at the airport. Now, this differs from the previously updated policy, which said customers who encroach upon the neighboring seat must purchase the number of seats needed. Customers should purchase the seats prior to travel to ensure adjacent seats are available. That's what they said on the website. For passengers who do not purchase additional seats prior to flying, there may be additional consequences to face. The airline wrote you'll be required to purchase an additional seat and pay any applicable seat fee at the airport at the fare available on the day of travel.
Oh, that's high.
Yeah. If the flight is full or adjacent seats aren't available, you'll be rebooked on another flight with available seating. So
harsh.
Yeah. And they clarified that if the determination is made after boarding, this is where it really gets kind of sticky. When they come back down the aisle and say, sir, passengers may be required to deplane and rebook on another flight.
Oh,
so
that's not nice.
Now they're adjusting the policy to say, hey, if nobody wants the middle seat and you're on the window and you kind of could use another seat, you can have that seat. So at least they're saying that. But that's an unpopular thing, because it gets into airborne body shaming, in a lot of ways, and a lot of people very, very uptight about that. But now maybe some relaxation of that policy from Southwest. All right, we'll be back to wrap up hour number 1 on 13 Under the Zone.
Wake up with Harge and Henry in the morning kickoff.
Dave's Hot Chicken. They came and dropped it off yesterday.
The one that I got was incredibly delicious. But I was like, this is not hot. Marcus was over here choking.
Why is it spicy?
About to die. As I got ready to take a bite, Hart said, hey, you gonna do that right before Coach comes on? So I put it down and I licked my fingers. Oh my God. They should change the name from Reaper to Regret.
Weekdays at 7.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
I just realized that the first letter of every line of this review spells help me.
It seems like everyone's a critic these days, blessing the world with our slightest opinions, all on our own mini platforms.
I have another user review here. It's impossible to get into the lives of characters.
Nope, it's entirely possible. That's the profession of filmmaking.
I hate Batman. And the only thing we have left to criticize is criticism itself. I'm Scott Janovitz.
And I'm Greg Conley.
Citizen Critic, a podcast where we will critique the critics and review the reviews of everything from movies, music, and television to toasters, toiletries, and paint colors.
We'll hear from the experts.
Here's my review. Coldness and heartlessness are undermining today's suspense movies. The end. Don't go see it. 0 stars.
As well as from all the citizen critics out there.
So we loved our experience here because I read all the reviews beforehand and did not stay, eat dinner, or officially tour here. 5 stars.
We'll find some useful tips.
This is in German. Do not buy unless you speak German. As you can tell from this review, I speak English. I'm not German.
Because we won the war.
Well,
and some pretty useless tips.
Oh, it has wall-to-wall profanity and vulgar language.
Can't you just make a movie about mobsters where they don't swear?
We'll uncover some startling truths. September 11th was still more than a week away.
He claiming Mr. Rogers had something to do with 9/11?
I think he's not claiming it. I think he's about to prove it, Greg. We'll go on a journey of self-discovery.
Night of the Comet is one of the greatest movies. Well, no, it's not, but I immediately back off that.
And confront our own shameful opinions.
Why should the pros who get, at least they get paid for it? I want to do this for free. Like, my opinion on, what was that band that I really got out in front of?
The New Radicals.
The New Radicals. Yeah, I was like, I think this guy's the next Stevie Wonder.
But mostly, it'll be a bunch of nonsense like this.
Yeah, use Bing.
Use
Bing. Let me Bing it. Yeah, I'm going to Bing this. Bing? Bing.
Find Citizen Critic on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Phones, laptops, cars, smart speakers, even on your TV. All devices, all the time. We are everywhere you are. 1300 The Zone.
Okay. First hour in the books. Coming up, just around the corner, we're going to hear more from Longhorns head football coach Steve Sarkisian from those SEC spring meetings. Gene Watson, our MLB insider from the Chicago White Sox front office, joins us. Talks Major League Baseball. The Chicago team's pretty good. The other Chicago team, not so much of late.
No.
Weird numbers surrounding the Cubs.
I've been wrong on a lot of things this MLB season, but my Brewers over Cubs in the Central pick looks pretty good.
It's okay right now. All right. So we'll do that, and we'll hear more from Jim Schlossnagle as Texas prepares to take on the Crusaders of Holy Cross in their regional opener on Friday. So stay with us. Hour number 2 of 3 coming up right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Before they can cheer your name, you've got to make one. At Spurs Sports Academy, we're helping young athletes do just that with year-round basketball camps and tournaments for kids of all ages. It's all part of our mission of inspiring lifelong memories and building character through competition. To find your way to play, text HOOPS to 210-444-5021 or head over to spurs.com/sportsacademy.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
And now a word from our sponsor, Bud Light. There's nothing better than the clean, crisp... There's nothing better than the clean, crisp... what if we just got out of here and grabbed some Bud Lights? But man, we're on air for 4 more hours. They'll figure it out. Sounds good to me. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. Stock up now. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026, Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Delivering more is just how we do business at Group 1 Ford of South Austin. Get more selection with our huge inventory of brand new Fords and quality pre-owned rides. More value with bigger deals and more confidence with our Austin family that's been serving Central Texas drivers for over 2 decades. Whether you're hauling gear to Zilker Park or commuting down Mopac, you get more with the team that knows Ford best. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or online at group1fordofsouthaustin.com.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes. iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Go! Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play. That my worth isn't determined by my performance. That even on my worst day, I am worthy. That you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Washington Secondary School Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Second hour of the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Craig Way alongside the producer, Jake Herman. Glad to have you with us as well on a Yacht Rock Wednesday afternoon. We're with you up until 5 o'clock. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk Major League Baseball with Gene Watson, who's, by the way, Gene, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think at least at one time, if not still is, a bit of a collector. We could ask him about that Wemby card. See what he thinks about that.
Is he a Spurs fan?
I don't know. I don't know. But our man on Twitter, our Twitter savant, CB, said on our text line that I wonder if that Wemby card, prior to it being sold, would be at Tom Brady's new card shop in Austin. Said Brady's in Austin right now, according to CB.
Nice. So, I'll have to stop by.
Yeah, go by.
It's called Card Vault by Tom Brady. It's at 3rd and Lavaca. I didn't know about this. The grand opening was today.
Right downtown, 3rd and Lavaca. Wow. Okay. So anyway, there you are with that. Okay. Just to continue Some of the yesterday we didn't get a chance to get to Kerry's text when he said, "I feel bad for Mercer being out over Kentucky." I've always been a guy who boosted the underdog in the mid-major. I went to a college. I went to 2 colleges that were mid-majors, UNC Wilmington and North Texas, that were mid-majors. But when you play the 201st ranked non-conference schedule in the country, winning 44 ball games or 47 is not going to help you that much. You got to play some more representative. I mean, they did have the one win. They had one really good size win. I think it was over Georgia Tech. But you got to do better than that on your scheduling, and that's why. Kentucky had some really attractive metrics to have gone 13-17 in SEC play off of that. In fact, they swept Alabama during the course of the season as well. So anyway, I'm not going to say Kentucky didn't deserve to be in. By the same token, I could understand why Mercer did not get in the field if it came at the expense of that. There were a lot of people that were complaining about UTSA getting in, and I thought maybe they'd done enough. They had an RPI 52, and their strength of schedule was 101 in the non-conference, and they weren't even in the NCAA tournament fields next 4 out. They weren't in the first 4 out, and they weren't in the next 4 out. So where Mercer was just off the plane, off of that, right off the grid.
I think you're grapes with NC State in the field if you're Mercer, not necessarily with Kentucky. NC State had a worse non-conference strength of schedule than Mercer did.
Yeah.
If that's the metric.
Yeah, but they had better quality in conference wins because they play in the power conference in the ACC. And let me also say this. I think it was our friend Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball who put it best when he said, and I talked about this the other day, if it comes down to, someone against NC State where Elliott A. Venn had announced his retirement after they got knocked out of the ACC tournament on the first day by Duke, if it comes down to something like that and another school on the bubble, he said the tie is going to go to the retiring coach. It just is. Hey, they wouldn't admit it necessarily, but the people on the committee are probably going to give the nudge to the retiring coach.
Only in college sports.
Yeah, right. So happens in basketball as well. But I understand Kerry's point, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. It's just if it had come down to just those two, I can understand why the committee made the decision that it made. So anyway, let's hear more from Sark. Now, this was something until after that media availability. Sark had some comments when he was asked. He was on with Peter Burns there on Sirius XM's SEC radio, or college sports radio, and was asked about his take on the collegiate game and the conference championship games and things of that nature.
I'm okay with 24. I'm okay with 16. I'm okay with going back to 4 if you want to know the truth. Really? And I'll give you my rationale on that. I really don't care for the number we're at right now because we're in a
12. You just don't like
12.
Yeah,
because we've become a playoff or bust fan base.
Yeah,
around the country, but there's not enough spots for us to have that mentality. You can go to 24 and it'd be playoff or bust, and now it's kind of like, okay, you either did or you didn't. 12's a tough number, especially when it's really not 12. G5's getting a spot, Notre Dame's getting a free spot, so you're really at 10. And then you got some AQs at the other conferences. So your number's really pretty small in a conference like ours.
Yeah.
My point to going back to 4 is this. I'm a big fan and a proponent of the SEC championship game. I think there's something special about that game, and it means a lot. I've got a chance to coach in it 3 times. I've won 2 and I've lost 1. Okay. But if we went back to 4, we could have our own SEC playoff for the SEC championship game. Because now the conference is expanded to where not everybody gets to play each other anymore. And so if we had our own mini playoff that could lead to an SEC championship game, and that winner, is going to the Final Four, and maybe even the team they beat is going to the Final Four. But everybody knows, we all knew when those 4 teams played, those were the best 4 teams. You could argue a couple years ago with Georgia when they had won 33 in a row and they lose to Bama. That was a weird year of how it all played out.
Yeah.
We had beaten Bama in the regular season. Washington's undefeated. Michigan's undefeated. That was a tough year. But for the most part, those 4 teams we all knew. But you would have an opportunity to earn it if everybody had their own playoffs in their own conference, because conferences have grown. Not everybody's playing each other anymore.
Yeah. Interesting take from Sark about that. Have an SEC playoff first, then get to your college football playoff. I'm a more is more guy. I think 16 would be the right number. I think 24 is pushing it, but I think 16 would be a good number. But if it comes at the expense of the conference championship games, and I don't think 16 would, it's the same weekends of bracketing. It's just instead of 4 byes, everybody plays.
But I like AQs. Get rid of the committee. Let SEC and Big 10, ACC and Big 12 duke it out with intra-conference tournaments to determine these spots.
Yeah, it could do that. I originally, when these ideas first started bouncing around, I was like, do 16, and at the time there were 11. I think it'll go back to 11 Division I FBS conferences once the Pac-12 fires up again. Let every Division I FBS conference, there's 11 of them, have an auto bid and then 5 at large.
See, I have notes on that.
I said it when it first came out.
Sure.
I'm not as on board with it now because that was when we only had 4. And 16 seemed like, there'd be room for everybody if you did that. But now we see how the system works. So it probably would not be the best idea. But I think 16 is a good idea. I don't know about 24. Seems a bit much.
Yeah.
And if you had 24, you definitely would have to get rid of the conference championship games. 16, you don't have to. So, because it'd be the same amount of bracketing weekends as if 12. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll find out. And we'll hear more from Sark coming up next hour. We shift to baseball next to visit with Gene Watson to talk Major League Baseball on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Texas baseball is back. Catch every big hit.
This one out to deep left center. You can say goodnight to it.
Every strikeout.
Strike 3 call. Got him looking.
Every big play.
Dives. He made the catch. He made the catch.
Of Longhorns baseball all season long on 1300 The Zone and streaming free on the iHeartRadio app.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
Is back.
Please put your hands in the air.
One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready? Featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tuesday morning at 7.
Okay, so we're down to the Final 4 in the NBA playoffs as well as the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. Pro Golf has 2 of its Grand Slam events in the books, and we're closing in on the start of the college baseball NCAA regionals. Are you enjoying all of this on your home entertainment system? If not, give my friend Tom McKay a call at Audio Visual Consultations. You've heard me tell you what experts Tom and his staff are when it comes to home entertainment, but AV Consultations has expanded to become dealers and custom installers of Foresight golf simulators. So if you're wanting to improve your golf game, AV can get you hooked up with a Foresight simulator that can do the trick. AV Consultations now also offers full home and landscape lighting and automatic lighting control. Give Tom McKay and his staff a call today at 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678, or you can find them on the web at avconsultations.com. Let Tom McKay and Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
It's a celebration 250 years in the making.
And we want everyone in America, from Maine to Montana, from Alabama to Alaska, to be a part of it.
This year marks America's 250th anniversary, and we're coming together from coast to coast at star-spangled events, live performances, and the largest day of giving in American history.
Join the nationwide celebration at America250.org.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to trust what you're seeing. Who made it? Is it real? But with iHeart, everything you hear is guaranteed human. That's why 78% of listeners trust their favorite radio host's product recommendations. And if you own or manage a business here or need to drive sales, that trust goes a long way in creating your future customers. Make iHeartMedia a part of your 2026 plan today. Call 844-844-iHeart. Again, that's 844-844-iHeart.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
You ever wonder how far an EV can take you on one charge? Well, most people drive about 40 miles a day, which means you can do all daily stuff no problem. Go to work, grab the kids at school, get the groceries, and still have enough charge to visit your in-laws in the next county. But they don't need to know that. And the best part, you won't have to buy gas at all. The way forward is electric. Explore EVs that fit your life at electricforall.org.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns. Back to the Craig Way Show. Connect with Craig through the text line by texting ZONE to 81530, followed by your message. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday, we were talking a lot of football, heard from Sark. We'll hear more from Sark from the SEC spring meetings coming up next hour. Also, NBA with the Spurs, and we'll hear more from them coming up next hour. We'll hear from, in addition, well, I guess we're going to hear from Mark Dagno. We'll hear from him.
Yep, as well as SGA, Steph Castle.
Yep. So we'll hear from them coming up next hour as well. And we'll hear more from Jim Schlossnagle coming up as we're on the eve of the regional, which will start on Friday at UFC Udish Falk Field. But it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. And as always, we turn to our good friend from the Chicago White Sox front office, Gene Watson, who joins us now. So, Gino, I'm going to start off with an odd question and give you some background on this. Are you a fan of any specific NBA team?
Craig, if they were playing across the street, I wouldn't go, and I couldn't name 3 players. I apologize.
That's good. Okay. All right. That answers my first question. Here's my second question. Did you hear what Victor Wembanyama's rookie card went for in the card?
I did. I don't know who that is, but no, I did not.
Okay. Wemby, of course, is the outstanding franchise center for the Spurs and came in from France. His rookie card was sold in a private sale yesterday to a man, or a day before, for $5.11 million. It is the largest price ever paid for a rookie card with no signature, by the way, no signature. Wow. And a dude paid over $5 million. Now, I said this when we were talking about the story that I thought you were at least tuned into what was going on with card collecting in baseball, if not involved in it. Wait, is that an accurate statement?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. No, me and my family, it's been a great gift with our grandsons. We've gotten into the card collecting pretty bad. And I do know some players that have card collections upwards of $25 to $30 million.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, no, it is a no joke business. It's a $13 billion industry in 2026, and by 2030 it'll be a $30 billion industry. It's absolutely, and it will take you and it will wrap you up and spit you out if you let it, because it's a lot of fun. We've had so much fun with it, and but I've had to reel it in a little bit because it can get expensive.
I would imagine. Stuart, say, what's just your initial reaction if you set aside your unawareness of a lot in the NBA. If we just set that aside and just talk about $5 million for anybody's rookie card is a bit much, don't you think?
You could say that. Yeah, I spent $3,000 on a Nolan Ryan rookie card, and I'm really glad I did it. It's my favorite piece of memorabilia that I have, and I have a lot of memorabilia. But you sit there and you look at the card and you go, $3,000. so I can't imagine being in the 100,000s or the millions. But it's much like art. It's much like art, and people love it. It's taking the country by storm right now.
No doubt about it. Visiting with Gene Watson, talking baseball here. Okay, Gino, I want to jump in since we're talking about millions of dollars and things of that nature. I want to get your thoughts on this. Our friend Jeff Passan from ESPN tweeted out today that the Players Association made its first proposal to MLB today in collective bargaining. Now, among the top line issues, one, a competitive integrity tax for any team that does not spend $150 million, an increase in minimum salary from $780,000 to $1.5 million. That's pretty much doubling that. An increase in the base CBT threshold from $244 million to $300 million. That's their first proposal in collective bargaining. Is there anything there that leaps off the page at you about it?
Well, I think that it speaks to what they believe the owners are going to focus on, which is a salary cap and a salary floor. It meets that to some degree without using that terminology. I think it certainly spreads money out around the league to players. It benefits clubs to spend. It benefits clubs that lose players in free agency. The smaller market teams that say lose a big star, it benefits them. So I think it's a good first step. We'll certainly find out tomorrow what the counterpoint is, the rebuttal is, but I think they kind of, knowing what was going to come from the owner's side, kind of jumped out a little bit in front and said, you know what, here's where we're at with it. Let's keep talking. So I didn't view, especially the $300 million, I didn't view it as like there's no way this could happen proposal.
Yeah. Okay. And like you said, the plan did not include a salary cap. And of course, that's been, I guess, MLB's top priority for the next CBA. But a financial structure that union leadership continues to reject. And so the counteroffer, as you mentioned, it's coming tomorrow. The proposal, according to sources, said it contained less drastic measures to address that economic disparity between big and small market clubs, with a focus on increasing the revenue sharing with that CBT, the competitive balance tax system. And the proposal called for increased sharing of local media revenues and less of stadium-related revenue. I found that interesting. They want more local media revenues. And I would guess this, Gino, and tell me if I'm wrong, that's to deal with the teams like Cleveland and San Diego and Texas and Colorado and Seattle and Pittsburgh, markets that Atlanta lost their regional networks, and Arizona. MLB is pretty much running that deal, working with them on that, and they're wanting the bigger ones, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, both Chicago teams, I guess, to try to share the wealth a little bit more. How do you think that's going to go over?
I don't think that's going to go over at all. I don't think that you have money generated from local advertisers in the case of the Dodgers, where, you know, you're benefiting from success and the market size and your relationship with the corporate sponsors in those markets, and then giving that money away to other markets. I don't think that's going to be a real, even going to come close to taking place. I do want to one thing, you know, the last two small market teams to win a World Series, Miami Marlins and the 2015 Kansas City Royals, we were small market teams with lower payrolls and won world championships just by, you know, playing within a system and making the day-to-day moves that take place to try to win and to push in to win. And so it can be done. There are 30 models in Major League Baseball, and every model has the opportunity to try to draft, sign international, trade to create a 26-man roster to win a world championship. And you've got to be really, really good in October, and you got to be really lucky, and you've got to have the roster to do it. But I just don't believe that payroll has anything to do with that. I really don't. And so I think that there are ways that small market teams can win world championships, and you've got to be willing to push in. But the models don't present that now, because everything is about sustainability. Let's draw 2 million. Let's have good things written about our minor league system. Let's win 86 games, roll the dice in October and see what happens. And to me, it's so much more than that to win in October. You got to push in with everything you have. And when you look at the Dodgers last year and how fortunate they were, a ball to the bottom of the wall, an incredible catch in left center field, and a base running error by your opponent are the three reasons why you won a world championship. And that's one of the greatest teams in baseball history. That's how thin the line is between winning and losing in October. But if you don't push in, it's not going to happen. So I don't like the small market, big market financial part of that. I don't think it factors in if you've got a front office that's willing to push in to win.
Okay. Interesting stuff there. Gene Watson joining us here on 13 Under the Zone. All right, let's jump to the field. As much as we have, and deservedly so, and will continue to do so, lauded what's going on with your ball club in getting to the 500 level. The team across town from you has come up with an interesting bit of history. They lost to the Pirates last night, 12-1. So the Cubs now have lost 10 in a row. The Cubs have become only the second team in Major League history to have 2 10-game winning streaks and 1 10-game losing streak in the same season. And we're not even out of May yet. They joined, by the way, the Dodgers for 2017 and went to the World Series that year. But I know the rank and file fan sits back and says, how can a team do that? How can a team have 2 10-game winning streaks and a current 10-game losing streak, and we're not even, a third of the way through the season?
Well, a lot of it, and we say it every day, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And then when you look at, for instance, the Rangers and Angels this week, the Rangers go into the Angels with their 3 best pitchers, and the Angels sweep them. And so it's unexplainable how it happens, but it does. And the streaky teams, all they're trying to do is like right the ship. But so much of it is about health, how your lineup's performing. You may be trying to get some answers to some questions about your roster at a time where your schedule's a little bit more difficult, and so it costs you games. And so I don't think there's any way of putting a pencil to it, but it's crazy how some teams do it. But the Dodgers did prove that you can't overcome it and win a world championship.
Yeah, and even they have already had one dip this season, and now lately they've won 11 of 13, so they're going really well. And since we're on the subject, I want to get your thoughts on journeyman guys who, in the right clubhouse, in the right organization, can do something. Eric Lauer had pitched really well for Milwaukee, had a difficult season last year with Toronto. They wind up kind of just as a throwaway deal with the Dodgers, and he went out and gave them 6 really good innings last night and got the win. Sometimes it's just being in a different uniform, is it? And not even necessarily a winning system like the Dodgers. It could be a team that's struggling to get going, but you get in a different clubhouse and things all of a sudden look a lot different to you and you perform better.
Yeah, and this is one of the bigger parts of my daily job, is to identify players that are underperforming, underachieving in their present situation. And sometimes it can be just, they were high picks and they're living with the pressure of being that high pick, and they just can't live with it anymore. They need that new blow. They need the new uniform, the new clubhouse, a new voice, new teammates, new city. And sometimes it just clicks. And when you look back over the history of time, Nelson Cruz was a guy with the Rangers that had failed in Milwaukee, and it wasn't really happening for him. He goes to Texas, he does well. Look at Brent Rooker with the A's, had been in multiple organizations, goes to Oakland, does well. There you can go. J.D. Martinez, same thing. Houston DFA's him. He goes to the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera,
Max
gets
Muncy,
a little bit of advice. And exactly. They have the change of scenery guys happen all the time, and that's really a bigger part of my job is trying to identify those guys.
By the way, speaking of Muncy, as I was, he got activated yesterday, wound up having to go into the ball game, and this is really unfortunate. Here's where I'm going with this. He has to enter the ball game and play at third base because Kike Hernandez had just been activated from the injury list on Monday. First game back, hits a home run and gets another base hit, an infield single, and everybody's excited. Last night, he had a double and a single. Last night, he has a home run and a double, but has to leave the ball game. And the shots in the dugout were really telling how depressed he was, and Dave Roberts was over there sitting with him. He gets a strained oblique. He has to go on the IL. They're hoping in a best-case scenario it's 2 to 3 weeks, but you know what oblique injuries are like. They can go anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months, depending on how things are. I mean, that's a tough deal for a guy. And he said he actually felt it. Here's the shocking thing, Gino. He said he actually felt it on swings and batting practice on Monday, having just been activated. And he said he was too embarrassed to say anything. He was hoping it was just a twinge. And he goes out and over the 2 games goes 4 for 6 at the plate with 3 extra base hits. But he's got to come out of the ball game. I mean, that is a brutal thing, that oblique thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes one injury is a pre-core of another with your body, and people that in the medical field know that. But the other thing is that success that he had may have been because he was taking it a little bit easier with his swing, moving a little slower, being a little more cautious in the way he went about it, and just taking a simpler approach. But it's unfortunate because he was off to such a good start, and now it's going to be more time on the IL.
All right. I want to ask you about one other thing because I know you were really plugged into it. Bob Horner passed away, and he was 68. Of course, power hitting third baseman. It was a great college player at Arizona State, #1 draft pick, 78. Hit 218 homers in a 10-year career, playing on those Braves teams in the 80s with Dale Murphy in the heart of the Braves lineup in the 80s as well. So I know you got a chance to get to know him and through the Braves organization. I mean, it's a sad loss from a guy that everybody remembers. He was a National League Rookie of the Year and did something else as well throughout the course of his career.
Bob Horner was such a big part of my childhood. The Braves, we lived in Florida when WTBS came out, and they became the national team with the national network. And the Braves would come in and play the Southern League All-Stars in Jacksonville, Florida every year, and Bobby Cox was a part of that. And so losing Bobby Cox and Bob Horner for someone that grew up watching the Braves so much and then working for the Braves was such a big loss. I was thinking about Bob this morning. I can't believe you brought his name up, but just a really sad thing. And I mean, before Dale Murphy, he was the face of the Braves and kind of the first national face of the Atlanta Braves. And it's really unfortunate that we've lost another great one.
Well, and he was also rare in that he became the first Braves draft pick to skip the minor leagues entirely and play his first professional game in the major leagues. I know Ranger fans always are the cautionary tale of David Clyde and that sort of thing. And that thing just doesn't happen really much anymore. But he was that good a player, wasn't he? Unbelievable
tools in a time like really before the college baseball scene had hit the national scene and really taken off from a media standpoint. Had he had the media that today's college baseball players had, he'd be, even though more than he is, but just one of the greater players of our generation.
He was something else. Hey, Gino, as always, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much. And we'll look forward to visiting and doing it again next week.
All right, Craig. Take care. Thanks so much.
You bet. That's Gene Watson from the Chicago White Sox. By the way, Bob Horner said he was outstanding player at Arizona State. This is how outstanding a player he was. He was in the first class of the College Baseball Hall of Fame. He also was a guy who won the first Golden Spikes Award. He was MVP of the 1977 College World Series when Arizona State won it. And he held the NCAA career record for home runs for about 8 years. He hit 56. Pete Incaviglia hit 100 between 1983 and 85, playing in that bandbox in Stillwater he did. But Horner was inducted into the inaugural class of the College Baseball Hall of Fame. So he was outstanding player and a big symbol of those Superstation TBS Braves with him and Dale Murphy back in the 80s. All right, coming up, we'll go back to college baseball and hear more from Jim Schlossnagle when we continue on 13 Under the Zone.
Baseball season is here, and the Round Rock Express are ready to take the field. Hear all the action right here on 1300 The Zone. Whether you're at home or on the road, stay connected with Round Rock Express Baseball live on 1300 The Zone.
Man, whenever I use a sports book, I feel like I'm just getting robbed blind.
Dude, you've got to delete that app. You need to be using Polymarket.
Polymarket? How are they any different?
Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans just like you, not the house. That means more money for you and less for those greedy sports books.
For real?
Yep. Sports books take around $9 on a $100 position and then pay out around $500. Polymarket pays out $650 on that same position.
What's the catch?
No catch. Even better, it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident that you'll never go back. They're giving you $50 free on your first trade.
I'm deleting my sportsbook app. How do I get started?
Download Polymarket now and use promo code HEAT for $50 free for your first trade. Stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Download Polymarket and use promo code HEAT for $50 free on your first trade. Use promo code HEAT.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
You fired up the grill, you strung the lights, you even cleaned the patio furniture. But let's be honest, your cornhole set is an embarrassment. This summer, level up with official American Cornhole League gear. We're talking pro-quality boards, bags, and everything you need to become the undisputed backyard champion of your entire neighborhood. Or at least beat your brother-in-law. Shop now at aclshop.com because summer's too short for bad cornhole.
The Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream is celebrating America's 250th One Dream at a Time. Next, Angela Yee of iHeartMedia.
The way that I look at it is education. I mean, there's things I've done that haven't worked out. Everything does not always work out. I've launched businesses that I've had to just give up. And there's a lot of things that you learn when things don't work out. There's a lot of relationships that you make, and you can take that with you and just say, I paid for an education in something.
Discover more at mcad.org.
Hey, it's Hannah from Central Texas' #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. If you love the Longhorns as much as Rowdy does, you will have to watch all the action on our 69 big screen TVs while enjoying ice-cold beer, craft cocktails, and our Texas-sized menu. And check out our Monday and Friday steak specials. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy, located off I-35 in Round Rock. Let's get rowdy. Visit us at Go Rowdy Cowboy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
Hey guys, it's us, the Jonas Brothers. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nick. And guess what? We created our own podcast called Hey Jonas.
We invented a podcast?
Well, we didn't invent it. We just contributed to it.
First people to do podcasts. We get to ask other people questions because we're sick and tired of being asked questions.
Well, sick and tired is a strong way to put it, but
tired and sick.
Tired and sick.
Listen to Hey Jonas on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Hey Jonas and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Pop Rewind, hit music from the 2000s through today. Pink, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, Imagine Dragons, and more.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Pop Rewind, and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here. And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app.
Here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday, the great Luther Vandross. Never too much. This is one of the favorite Yacht Rock tunes of my broadcast partner on Texas women's basketball, Kathy Arsden. She digs her some Luther. She's listening, so there you go, if that's the case. All right, let's talk some more college baseball. Thanks to Gene Watson joining us to talk Major League Baseball. The thing that I wanted to get to here is the preparation for the regional that Texas has to have. And you heard Jim Schlossnagle last hour being asked about how you break down the homework, if you will, the video, the cut-ups, and all the stuff of the teams you see. And he said what many coaches do, worried first and foremost about Holy Cross. Got to get the first one before. And we talked about this with Ty Harrington yesterday. While the conventional wisdom is that the most important game in a regional weekend is the second day. And if you think about it, folks will say, okay, well, what happens if you lose the first day? Well, the second day, you got to win and stay alive. So that's pretty important. If you win the first day, that second day is important, because if you win that, then you don't play again until Sunday night, and you only need one win and 2 tries to get to the next level. So that's why that second day is so important. That said, the coaches always talk about got to dial in on the first one, even if you're the number 6 overall national seed, as Texas is, and you're playing a number 4 seed. Now, last year, Texas was the number 2 national seed. Played a number 4 seed. Houston Christian took care of their business. But they couldn't get past UTSA. Part of that was because of the injuries to the pitching staff, but also UTSA, and give them all the credit for what they did coming in to take it from Texas, both Saturday night and then Sunday night, after the Longhorns had to play the elimination game and defeat Kansas State on Sunday afternoon. They had to come back play Sunday night, and UTSA had enough to beat them, and they did. So that second game becomes important. However, the first game is important as well. And managing the time between the video work, getting in a lift, and also getting daily practices. It's all important. And that's why Jim Schlossnagle had a ready response when folks asked him, how will you manage and do you plan to manage the time before the regional starts in those off days?
We're going to err on the side of work. The saying, nothing works unless you do. That's the one we're living by right now. So we had a good practice. We practiced as soon as we got off the bus on Saturday. We practiced yesterday. We had about 2.5 innings worth of inter-squad at-bats for all the kind of regular players. We're giving the guys off today, and then we'll practice again tomorrow morning, and I think we're going to play like 7 innings tomorrow. So it may not be full-scale baseball with base running and stuff like that, but it's going to be live pitching versus live hitting. We've rested plenty. Our players admittedly miss playing baseball. And when you only play 1 game in 2 weeks, that's not a good thing. So we need to mimic the game and mimic kind of our week, play Sunday, play Tuesday, have our Wednesday practice, kind of the way you hear a football coach talk, to prepare for the weekend.
Okay. All right. He was asked, how important is it to instill the message of going beyond what they did last year? They won the SEC regular season title. That was quite an accomplishment in his first season there in getting it together. But it ended abruptly. They had the 1 game and the 1 loss in Hoover at the SEC tournament, and then, went 2-2 in the regional and got eliminated by UTSA. So they were kept short of what their goal was. So how important is it for Schloss and his players, and really for Jim and for his coaching staff, to instill the message of taking it to that next stage, finishing better than what they did a season ago?
I haven't instilled the message. Maybe the veteran players have. In today's college athletics, you have so much turnover on your team. We have a lot of guys back from that team last year, but there's still probably more new players than there is returning players. So, but that's where you lean on your leadership, like guys like Luke and Max Grubbs and Burns and those kind of guys, Mendoza's. The guys are bored, but the guys were on last year. Anything we feel like we could have done better last year, we do it this year.
Okay. All right. And I'm not sure why this particular question was asked in the way that it was asked, because it's kind of odd. The answer was pretty predictable when he was asked, was he happy how the season ended?
I'm happy with the season we had, for sure. You win 40 games, you win 19 in the regular season, you win 19 in the SEC. You earn the right to be a national seed and play at home. But certainly not very happy about last week. That was embarrassing. Our players were pretty disgusted by it. I was super disgusted by it. I understand, what we had to do and how we had to do it, but I don't like watching other teams play in a tournament that we could still be in, should have still been in.
Yeah, not happy about that. And then he was asked for his take on momentum and how big that is once you get to the NCAA level.
To me, momentum is tomorrow's starting pitcher. In baseball, that's the beauty of having a Luke Harrison or Dylan Valanis or Ruger. Is how many times this year, I guess, at A&M, and what's the other series we lost? Tennessee. So we had 2 times during the year, maybe, at least on the weekends, that we lost back-to-back games. Of course, if you lose back-to-back games, if you lose 2 games this weekend, your season's over. But pitching, to me, is what can change the momentum for a team. And so when you have good pitchers like all these teams have, you're always a day away from, feeling better about yourself.
That's why it's going to be really interesting to see the pitching alignment, not only for Texas, but for the other 3 teams. And, of course, everybody will be wondering what Andrew Checketts at UCSB is going to do, whether he starts arguably the best starting pitcher in the country in Jackson, Florida, against Tarleton, or does he take that risk, roll the dice, go with somebody else? And by the way, Schloss will tell you, they've got other good pitchers beside Flora, so it wouldn't surprise him at all if Checketts decided to go ahead and pitch one of the other guys and roll the dice and take the risk of holding out his best pitcher and holding him, warehousing him for one day, and then letting him pitch against Texas if Texas handles its business against Holy Cross, and saving Flora for that. Be interesting to see. We'll find out tomorrow, because tomorrow I'll be over at UFC Dish Falk Field, and we'll hear from the head coaches from their press conferences, and we'll find out what the pitching decision will be on that. All right, we'll be back to wrap up hour number 2 here on 13 Under the Zone.
It's a celebration 250 years in the making.
And we want everyone in America, from Maine to Montana, from Alabama to Alaska, to be a part of it.
This year marks America's 250th anniversary, and we're coming together from coast to coast at star-spangled events, live performances, and the largest day of giving in American history.
Join the nationwide celebration at america250.org.
Pantalones Organic Tequila. Because tequila is fun. Pantalones.
It's the Marketer's Report. In this edition, Heather Sparks, head of content at Zenith, the Publicist media agency, discusses the inherently human power of radio hosts.
I actually think DJs were the original influencers. You invited them into your home, you invited them into your ear, you built a relationship with them, you understood and trusted the things that were interesting to them. And yes, now that's got a full flywheel and it's very video based and there's a lot of different types of influence. And so thinking about the plethora of content, human created versus not human created, I think as humans, we're always looking to feel something. And so I think human connection is never going to go away.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to all the audiences, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow, and all guaranteed human. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
When you hear a good deal, it's natural to do a double take. That's what you might do when you hear Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Hey, this is Jamie Loftus, and this is my new weekly show, 16th Minute of Fame, the podcast where every episode I take a closer look at an internet character of the day. Who were they? What made them so notorious? How did the internet, or sometimes the algorithm, choose them? And what does a person do when they're suddenly confronted with more attention than the human psyche can handle? Take The Dress, a story that went uber viral in early 2015 in spite of being, well, kind of a boring optical illusion. A mother of the bride in Scotland took a picture of a dress she was thinking about wearing to her daughter's wedding. But she saw the dress as blue with black lace, and her daughter saw it as white with gold lace. One BuzzFeed post later, every single person on the internet was talking about the dress. But to me, the dress is a story about the last couple of months when the internet was still sort of fun. It was shortly before the stories that spread across the internet stopped being driven by exploited millennials with useless arts degrees and started being decided by algorithms hell-bent on growing internet usership at all costs. And on a long enough timeline, the story of the dress is one entangled with abuse and media exploitation. Internet history is a tricky thing to be invested in. It feels like every time a bad business billionaire buys up another platform, history starts being erased. With the team at Cool Zone Media, we're taking these characters' 16th minute of fame to see what their moment meant to them and what it says about us.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
had somebody ask me this question yesterday. Maybe it was even coming off the. It was coming off of the selection show, and Texas getting ready or matched up with Holy Cross in the Austin Regional. And there were a lot of people that, had kind of dialed in on what UCSB is going to do, and if Jackson Flores is going to pitch against Tarleton, or will Andrew Cheggins, their head coach, pull him and hold him in the hopes and plans that they would play Texas in a winner's bracket game Saturday night and pitch him then. That's all understandable. And I had somebody ask me, well, what will Jim Schlossnagle do? I mean, you'd have to think, because it's a regional, he would pitch one of his 3 frontline guys, wouldn't you? And I said, it's possible. I don't think you'll see Dylan Volantis. I don't know if Lugo Riojas is quite ready for that. You could see Luke Harrison, or you could see some combination. And then the person has me, well, it's Holy Cross goodness. Well, they are 25 and 28. They went 13 and 13 in the Patriot League. They went 8 and 8 at home, 17 and 20 on the road. They played no neutral site games. Their team batting average is 265, and their team ERA is 6.42. In the Patriot League. We got a feeling.
Cold weather too up there in February. It's hard to have that.
You know where it is?
Holy Cross?
Yeah.
It's the Boston area, right?
A little bit west of Worcester.
There you go.
Worcester, Mass.
I knew how to pronounce that.
There you go. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. 3 minutes. Got one more hour of the show to go on 13 Minutes.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes, so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New North.